All in favor of approving the agenda signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Next on the agenda is public comment. Mark Lively is here to discuss the cemetery. You want to approach the council, Mark?
Mayor Dietz, council members, citizens of Hampton, I'm Mark Lively. Almost exactly 2 years ago, the Hampton Cemetery Fence Restoration Project began. I'm here tonight to report that the project is complete. At times, progress seems slow, but I think the end result speaks for itself. The city helped us begin with $10,000 seed money from the cemetery fund. Hundreds of citizens, businesses, and service clubs stepped forward with financial donations, material, transportation, or simply showed up with a rake and a shovel. As it progressed, the cemetery fence project expanded, the costs increased, but so did the donations. At this point, total expenses are $38,641.78. Donations are $37,322.53, leaving a deficit of $1,319.25. I would request that the council authorize transfer of $1,319.25 from cemetery funds to pay the remaining debt, with the understanding that any future donations received continue to be designated to that fund. Thank you. If anyone has any questions for me, I'd be happy to answer them.
Questions for Mark?
No questions, but a compliment on a job well done. It looks beautiful, Mark. Thank you for everything you folks do.
It was a group effort. There's a lot of people involved.
Appreciate everybody's efforts.
Worked out.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else for public comment then at this time? Okay. We'll take Mark's request into consideration of future council meeting. No action item on the agenda tonight, so look at that. Probably get that on the next.
Yes. Yep. Next council meeting.
Okay. All right. If there's nothing else under public comment, then we'll go ahead and move forward. Okay. Committee reports. Finance and Personnel Chair Dick Lukensmeyer.
Minutes of the Finance and Personnel Committee meeting held Monday, October 1st at 5:30. Members present: Dick Lukensmeyer, Diane Frawley, Craig Eckhart. Also present were Mayor Sean Dietz, City Manager Ron Dunn, Public Works Director Doug Tarr. There were a number of citizens present. Brooke Bemler with the Greater Franklin County Area Chamber of Commerce reviewed the status of funding for the digital sign proposed for Van Shell Park. He stated that the Chamber wished to move forward with the purchase, and if private donations are not raised, the Chamber is requesting the city include additional funding in their 2014 budget for a portion of the sign, approximately $6,900. The Chamber Design Committee may opt for selling ongoing advertising space on the sign as a funding stream. The City Council will discuss funding the sign during its budget meetings in January. Ron reviewed the most recent general obligation debt capacity model as provided by John Burmeister with PFM. The gross debt capacity, which is 5% of total valuations, is $397,835, and the current city GO debt is $5,428,000, which calculates to 64% of our gross limit, or leaves remaining available capacity of $2,969,835. However, Dunn pointed out that although Iowa code allows cities to have the debt up to a limit of 5% of total valuation, the practice that the city has self-imposed is a 4% limit, to leave a 1% cushion in case of any emergency. The city's effective debt capacity using 4% shows we are at 81% of capacity. This means we currently have $1,290,000 $268 in available GO borrowing capacity. Dunt explained that we are at the high end of our capacity and explained that any new GO debt projects would be of high priority. Dunt further stated that the more debt we pay off prior to creating new debt, it will be a benefit to the city's financial position. The new wastewater treatment plant will be funded with sewer revenue bonds payable with sewer revenues and are not included in the GO debt capacity model. Doug reviewed information received from FEMA requesting the city amend its floodplain ordinance if the city wishes to continue to participate in the FEMA flood program and be eligible for financial assistance in the event of a FEMA-covered event, such as an ice storm, tornado, flooding, or windstorm. The committee will recommend the amendment to be considered by the full council at a future meeting. The committee discussed a citizen request for an ordinance limiting butchering in backyards. The committee felt that the matter can be handled by utilizing the current nuisance ordinance and by citizens using common sense. The committee also expressed the importance of citizens to alert the city when they have a nuisance complaint. Ron explained that the city council will be considering approving the updated employee handbook and asked that F&P review the document for consideration at next month's meeting. The meeting concluded at 6:16 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. City Services Chair Jim Davies.
There was no October meeting, and the next scheduled city services meeting is November 6th at 5:30 here in council chambers.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Mayor, I failed to say November 5th will be our next meeting at 5:30, Monday, November 5th in council chambers. Thanks.
Thank you. All right. And as we mentioned, Councilman Harms is absent. He's the chair of the Public Assets Committee. Their next meeting will be scheduled for, would it be the 16th of October? 20. Oh, 20. At 5:30. Okay, new business, we have consideration of approval of application for outdoor service privileges added to liquor licensing for the Red Moose at 10 First Street Northwest in Hampton. And have somebody here, Jeff, if you want to address the council on that request. Any questions for Jeff?
I'm gonna have a few words, so.
Okay.
Ask away.
No speech?
I didn't prepare one.
Otherwise, I'll take a motion to approve the request.
You've built a nice area up the west door of your building.
Yeah, it's a 22 by 24 fenced-in area with uses a 6-foot treated fence sitting on concrete with a gate leading to the alleyway.
Right. Anything else? Okay, take a motion then.
I move we approve.
Okay. I got a motion by Jim. Do I have a second?
Second?
Second by Dick. Any further discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is consideration of Syngenta request for use of city property for advertising campaign, and I don't think we've got anybody here for that, do we, Ron? Brooke, if you, yep.
We were contacted, sent an email to Ron, Jesse, the young lady who came here from the marketing at our last city council meeting. They are pulling out of hiring cities for their downtown for this marketing campaign. I did want to express to you a couple things. Of the other communities, we looked really good, and I think I'd like to thank Doug Tarr for handling that. They called him, and as a community, we looked very good in Syngenta's eyes, which came back to us that 6 of their upper management came from Hampton. And I've heard comments from 3 of them saying we appreciated how they were treated, the outside marketing people, and what a warm, welcoming community the other three communities that were considered weren't shown as nice. So I want to thank our community and Doug and all of our city staff for doing a nice job for people flying in from Ohio to review our community. So they did want to pull out, but I did want to thank our city employees and also the community for what a great job. Thank you.
So I don't think we have any action to consider there. If there's nothing else, we'll move on then. Next item on the agenda is approval of the claims as recommended by the Finance Committee. That's in the amount of $225,393.33. Take a motion to approve the claims.
So moved.
Motion by Dick, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Diane. Any discussion?
Ron, is there anything of note that you feel we should be
A
talking about?
couple of larger expenditures other than payroll were the payments to FCDA and Main Street, which is showing why it's a little bit larger than normal. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay. All in favor of approving the claims, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, thank you. Next is consideration of approval and adoption of the Resolution 2012-36. There's a resolution authorizing payment of compensation commission's appraisement of damages. City Manager Dunt, I'll refer to you.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution 2012-36 is a resolution authorizing payment of compensation commission's appraisement of damages. Whereas the City Council of the City of Hampton, Iowa has heretofore authorized use of powers of eminent domain in a project known as the Wastewater Treatment System Improvement Project, and whereas the City Council of the City of Hampton, Iowa has heretofore found the project to be in the public interest, has authorized the use of powers of eminent domain, and found there is reasonable expectation that the project will achieve its public purpose, will be completed, will comply with all applicable standards, and obtain necessary permits. Whereas the City Council of the City of Hampton, Iowa has heretofore determined it's reasonable and necessary to acquire the necessary property interest located in Franklin County as described on 2 pages of this resolution. And whereas the City Council of the City of Hampton, Iowa has heretofore directed the law firm of Allers & Cooney, P.C., 100 Court Avenue, Suite 600, Des Moines, Iowa, 50309, to institute proceedings in eminent domain on behalf of the City of Hampton to acquire the necessary property interest. Whereas on September 18, 2012, a duly appointed compensation commission met, received evidence, and assessed damages in the amount of $88,233.58 for the necessary property interest. Whereas on September 24, 2012, the Franklin County Sheriff issued a notice of appraisement of damages and time for appeal. And whereas on October 1st, 2012, the Franklin County Sheriff certified the Compensation Commission's award of damages, the Sheriff's costs, and the Commissioner's fees. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hampton, Iowa. Section 1, the City Manager is authorized and directed to issue payment to the Franklin County Sheriff in the amount of $88,233.58 as payment of the appraisement of damages for the acquisition of the necessary property interest. Section 2, the City Manager is authorized and directed to issue payment to the Franklin County Sheriff in the amount of $2,063.48 as payment of the Sheriff's costs and Commissioner's fees. Thank you, Mayor.
If there's no questions, I'll take a motion.
One question, just clarifying, this includes not only purchase of condemned property, but all the easements related to the Lilly property?
That's correct.
Correct?
Yep. Temporary, permanent easements and acquisitions.
An entire amount?
Yes.
Okay.
Somebody like to put forth a motion?
So moved to approve.
I have a motion by Diane to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Val. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, we'll go forward with the vote. Davies?
Aye.
Eckhart?
Aye.
Lukensmeyer?
Aye.
Crowley?
Aye.
Hogaback?
Aye.
Arms is absent. Motion carries. Next on the agenda is approval of the consent agenda that includes approving the previous minutes as drafted from the Tuesday, September 25th, 2012 regular session meeting to schedule the next regular session for Tuesday, October 23rd, 2012 at 5:30 PM at City Council Chambers, and approval of liquor licensing renewal for Casey's General Store number 1605 located at 719 4th Street Northeast in Hampton. Take a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Motion by Craig, a second by Jim. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Staff reports, Police Chief Bob Schaefer.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council, City Manager.